Hey, it's me, Ben, from the podcast BORLFF. I am recording this in my hotel room in beautiful Emerald, Queensland, where I am having a surprise 3-day holiday because I fucked up my car driving in the mud. What you're about to hear is not an episode of BORLFF. I'm doing, I guess, what those in the social media industry would call a cross-post. It's an episode of the podcast Don't Worry, It's Not Just You, from our dear friend Phoebe Paradise, who you might recognise from the episode Queensland Red's Brain. The reason I'm cross-posting this is shameless self-promotion, and also because it's really good. So this episode was done with Phoebe, a local Brisbane artist named Sam McKenzie, myself, and of course my best friend and business partner, the other Ben Jungles, who you might know from me frequently mentioning him on the podcast as he comes up a lot. I spend a lot of time with him. We did this episode as part of a series that, Don't Worry, It's Not Just You, is going to do, where they talk to a series of artists who are doing an art show as feature presentation that is connected to the film festival that all of the four of us are doing, called the Brisbane Only Rotoscope Lightning Film Festival, or BORLFF. This is the first episode of it, and we just sort of go through, talk about all the movies, talk about rotoscope lightning, talk about the Australian daybill as a concept. I was a little bit sauced while we were recording, which I think adds an air of madcap mayhem to it. But it's really good. So yeah, I thought I would chuck this on here as well so that you can listen to it. BORLFF.com for tickets to BORLFF. Even as not a promotional exercise, it's also a good episode. I've taken up enough of your time. Enjoy this. I hope you're doing well. Bye.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of our very special feature presentation mini-series. My name is Phoebe Paradise and I'm joined by my friend and co-host, Sam McKenzie. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Phoebe. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to talk today about movies, about feature presentation, about the art of cinema and daybills. I'm really excited to jump in. So we had our first exhibition last year and it was such a hoot that we've come back swinging, and this time we're teaming up with the inimitable 2-Bit Movie Club and Netherworld for their first ever feature film festival. BORLFF. That's right. Brisbane's only Rotoscope Lightning Film Festival. It's BORLFF.
The film festival, so nice. It's fun to say it twice.
Yeah, exactly.
BORLFF.
They say lightning only strikes once.
Yeah, sure. They do say that, don't they?
So today, Sam and I are joined by the genius minds behind this festival, Ben McClay and Ben Nichols. Hello, Bens.
Hello, Ben.
Hello. Thank you so much for doing this today. How are you guys going?
Fantastic.
I'm great. You're great.
Yes.
I can tell from just looking at you that you are thriving at the moment.
I'm rugged up. I'm warm, so I'm feeling good.
I'm not, and I'm a little chilly, actually.
You famously don't own pants. So.
I don't. No, I do have a pair of track pants in the other room, actually, but I wouldn't wear them around company. That's
No, that would be disgusting.
galling.
Only in the beautiful city of Brisbane, Australia, can in winter you have 2 guys sitting in a room, one wearing a full beanie, jacket, jeans, tracksuit combo, and the other wearing tiny shorts.
Honestly,
it could
you could see us any month of the year and we'd be dressed pretty much exactly the same. So
we've got our looks sorted out, and they're sort of climate agnostic.
I mean, you are rocking a flanny.
Yeah, that's
which is
true.
Famously for keeping your arms warm, at least.
This is cold weather gear as far as I'm concerned. I could go down to Antarctica at this point and I'd be like, all right, I'm prepped. I'm ready.
Oh, a bit chilly.
It's fresh.
Yeah.
It's crisp.
It's crisp.
Brisbane, it drops below 30 degrees. Everyone's like, well, might as well be Antarctic ready at all times. Like, you know. Could you please start off by telling us a little bit about BORLFF 2-Bit Movie Club, how this all started.
Are we
How
going to
this
do a
came about.
B1, B2 situation
yeah, we need
here?
some
How are we going to
naming
differentiate the
conventions.
Bens?
Tough.
This.
Well, I
I'll
mean,
be
you're-
Benjamin.
you're
I'll
a
be Benjamin, and he
Yeah.
can be Ben.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, we are both Benjamins on paper, but you prefer Benjamin, I think, more than I do.
And it's a great way to tell us apart
Yeah.
Yeah.
verbally.
What about
There are a
Benji?
few visual cues you can use as well. So 2-Bit Movie Club happened because my dear friend and now business partner Benjamin opened a venue in Fortitude Valley called Netherworld Bar, Arcade and Diner, and I said to him in the weeks leading up to its opening, "Hey, can I put on some movies on a day of the week?" And Ben said, "Sure." And then it turned out some people liked watching some of those. And then we thought, hey, we could probably get goofy with this. And so we started putting on dumber and dumber events.
Just pushing your luck like every week.
Yeah. Well, we went from just being like, hey, here's a bunch of like nostalgia movies from, the 90s and stuff that people want to see. And then being like, what if we did, a clip show entirely of dumb stuff from wrestling from the 80s? And we're like, oh, people want to see that as well. And then we're like, all right, what if we put on a film festival where we don't have the skills, the connections, or the money to put on a proper film festival in the sense of like premiering movies or getting movies that are just coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, all right, we'll put on a retrospective film festival. And then, of course, you have to pick something to theme that around. And
There
we
has to be a theme.
Well, we chose our great mutual love, which is very specifically rotoscope lighting.
Rotoscope lightning.
Yeah. And also, I
Nice.
think I'm trying to remember whether we had BORLFF first and then tried to come up with something that it could stand for.
He's saying you came up with the acronym first and then reverse engineer the content
Well, I think
after.
the only reason we did this is because during that conversation, we just kept saying BORLFF to each
BORLFF.
other.
All right.
Being like, fuck, that's fun to say.
So you've reverse engineered BORLFF. 'Cause
Yeah.
as I said, it's fun to say.
I mean,
so
it
fun to
really
say.
does barely roll off the tongue. So
BORLFF.
Yeah.
It's like a
BORLFF.
pre-vomit sound. Someone's
Yeah.
got like the hot spits and they're
Yeah.
like, BORLFF.
Yeah.
And we thought it would be very funny
Hot vomit
to be
spits, great
holding
term,
a
though.
microphone in your hand and to be in front of 200 people and to 11 times in a 2-week period say, welcome to BORLFF.
And the natural thing to do with the funny bit is to see it through to its furthest conclusion.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, which is
Yes.
putting on a film
Yeah.
festival.
That's the
Fantastic.
punchline. It's like, when a joke is, you can, it reaches its logical point and then you go further until it gets less funny and then it will gradually becoming
funny
funny
again. Yeah. I'm hoping we get to the point where there's people in the audience just like chanting
BORLFF.
BORLFF,
Oh my God.
BORLFF, but everyone says it differently because they don't really know how to say it.
Oh, there's
properly,
a-
you know what
I think we've talked about this. This is something that we were hoping to implement in some way throughout
Does
the
it-
festival.
Yeah.
There will be an audience participation element.
Which I
belongs to the
personally
people.
hate audience interaction more than life itself. But I hate being in an audience when it happens.
I just hate being in a Marvel movie where audience participation happens.
that's bad.
Outside of that, I'm totally fine
We
with
don't
it.
want that, but we do want some sort of chance situation going on. Ideally, I like that the so we've been running some ads on 4ZZZ because Netherworld loves supporting the lovely radio station 4ZZZ.
Great radio station.
One of the best. Where the opening of the ad is a joke about how hard it is to pronounce, which is not something we didn't write anything and give them anything. That's just what they decided to run with. But
they got
it. It's so
They
good.
basically made the ad we would have done anyway.
Yeah, it's great. I listened to it. I was like, oh shit, did I write that?
So BORLFF is just so evocative that it just pulls out of people what you want.
Yeah,
The
that's-
reaction
we
to
found the perfect sound.
You
Yeah.
did. You
The onomatopoeia
to
of the
bewilder
film
people,
festival.
but it's also like extremely precise
Yeah.
as to what it conveys.
Yeah,
Honestly, the perfect kind of branding. Make something so obnoxious and obtuse that people just inevitably can't not stop thinking about
you
it.
got to think about
gotta
balls.
think
and,
about
and
it.
can only happen once
Yeah.
as well.
Unless it
Wait,
goes well.
unless lightning strikes twice.
There it is.
Or you remove the word lightning.
Wow.
We'll talk about this at
Yeah,
a later
we've
date.
also-
We're
Oh,
getting
sorry,
ahead of
to be
ourselves.
continued.
We're getting ahead of
Well,
ourselves.
Maybe there are
Yeah.
a lot of funny noises out there.
Yeah, that's
that we
true.
could probably
Yeah, yeah.
reverse engineer into
Next
many
year,
things.
blap.
BORLFF.
So tell me,
Glonk.
so
Good one,
if you came up with the concept first and the name first, we're working backwards. I'm assuming, given these steps, the movies were like the very last decision made, like in the curation process.
Yes-ish.
Kind of. narrowing them down, I think, was the hardest part because we both have very strong opinions about what we like, and we have like 90% overlap in the movies that we love. But also, I think it really helps if you're doing something that's as self-indulgent as a retrospective film festival around a specific theme of just dumb trash movies that you love. It really helps to have two people so that if one of you is like, oh, we're definitely doing these ones, and having just someone else to be there, like literally not a single person would buy a ticket to that movie. So there was a little bit of back and forth on that, but not a whole lot. It was just really hard ruling out which ones we weren't going to do.
And I think it's mostly got to do with like trying to strike a balance between stuff that everyone really has seen a million times.
Yeah. I had a few people sort of come at me on Twitter of being like, you've not done any of the Back to the Future movies.
Yeah, where is Highlander? Where is Back to the Future?
You can watch Back to the Future in your own goddamn home.
You've seen
You
Back to
will
the
be
Future
fine.
so many times.
You don't need to see that at a cinema with a bunch of weirdos. Like,
Okay, so the criteria is beginning to show itself a little bit here. So the idea would be to select movies that have been necessarily seen as much of a cinematic release as, say, your Back to the Futures and your...
yeah,
Like-
we're being...
Highlander.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm like, what are the most well-known rotoscope movies?
Well, I mean, like you could say pick The Empire Strikes Back as a rotoscope lightning movie
Of
because there's
course.
a shit ton of it in there. The Attack of the Clones has a ton of it in
Yeah.
there. But like we want to strike a balance between the trash that we love.
Stuff you wouldn't have seen at a cinema.
Yeah, but I think our biggest thing we were consciously trying to avoid was if, say, and no shade to Event Cinemas, but if Event Cinemas was going to do a 80s retrospective, I don't want it to have the exact same lineup as our film festival,
Yeah.
which could easily happen because that rotoscope lightning was in like every 80s movie.
It's cool as hell.
So, we chose like the big ones that we love, like Big Trouble in Little China, which is
Nice.
a perfect movie, which
Yep.
this will be the fourth 2-bit movie club Big
Yep.
Trouble in Little China screening at this point.
The
Really?
ultimate 2-bit movie club movie.
It'll be the second one we've done at the cinema, but it's the one that we have done the most
So that's-
because I love that movie so
That's
fucking
the-
much.
Penultimate 2-bit movie club movie.
Yeah, it's
think so.
perfect in every way in that it's it's a very competently made movie. It's a very smart movie. It's very funny. It's
John
very
Carpenter at
well
his
made.
best.
And it's
The hero's an idiot.
and
Kurt
conceptually
Russell, of course.
it's insane.
And
It's the best of like a B movie vibe made by a consummate professional.
a schlocky like blockbuster.
And it's a movie that is of like it's a perfectly elegant beast in that like it is an insane idea presented to you with the minimum amount of steps possible. Like all of the characters in the movie see a bunch of weird shit happen in the first 5 minutes and go, all right, well, we're in the movie now.
Dream
Let's
logic.
keep
It's
going.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
movies,
so good.
movies get too bogged down trying to explain things. Say, if this was Marvel movies or something, sometimes they're a bit ashamed of their source material instead of just committing to it. So
Yeah.
it becomes a bit of a
Yes.
joke, and they have to kind of like go out of their way to like, oh, that's a dumb name for something. I know, I'm aware.
Yeah, there's 45
like-
minutes of trying to prove that the movie is smarter than what the movie is
Yeah.
about. You
And
have
it's
your
just
main
like-
character
Mad
be
Max
like,
Fury wrote
"Oh,
it.
what?"
Just get in,
Just get
do it
in.
for
Yes.
90 minutes well, get out.
Just
Bite
make
the
the
head off a
characters-
lizard, start
yeah.
your chase.
And also
Yeah,
just spending
characters
too
believe
much
it.
time like having the characters trying to convince other characters that this thing
I
exists.
fucking hate that shit
Hate
so much.
absolute bullshit. It's like, no. We need you to just like accept that this is happening and let the movie happen.
Yeah.
God damn it.
If they believe it, the audience can believe it.
Yeah.
And also, is that the one with the Pork Chop Express?
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely it is. It's
It's
just
such a delightful combination of words.
Kurt Russell jamming an enormous sandwich into his mouth in the middle of the opening monologue of the movie for no reason whatsoever other than John Carpenter being like, hey, this will be funny. And he's right.
Correct.
But once we had the major theme there, we had to get the sub themes in. That's important.
Okay.
Yes.
Lists are important.
There's
We
It's
love
important
lists.
to categorize
There's
everything.
tendrils here going
Yeah.
on.
Which is our trying to theme double features that made sense to us as well, where like we wanted to demonstrate that rotoscope lightning has a long history because the first movie we've got is from the 1950s and the most recent film we've got is from the late 90s. But yeah, so we were like, oh, all right, we need some classic sci-fi in there. We both have a deep love for Forbidden Planet, so that one was kind of easy because that movie is just visually spectacular. a young Leslie Nielsen playing a role entirely straight, which is
So weird.
funny.
Unrecognizable.
Does he have white hair in this?
No.
No, he doesn't.
He
I
is
just assumed he would have been born with
gorgeous.
white hair.
He is young
Gorgeous
and
man.
strapping,
But
and
he-
strong looking.
He's so good at playing a straight man in comedy that watching him play a role straight is absolutely
You're
baffling.
waiting for the pin to
yeah,
drop.
you're like,
Yeah, because you've been conditioned.
yeah, he's got to say something silly soon. Never does. Well,
It
except
does.
says a lot of wildly sexist things
Just
in
'cause
there,
it's the
and I think
50s.
sexism is silly.
Yeah.
It is
Well,
I'm
silly.
willing to put
brave.
that on record.
But does
Thank you for being so brave and vulnerable on this podcast,
I'm
Ben. I
an
really
ally.
appreciate it.
But then we have to pick another classic science fiction movie to go with it as well. And I am a massive Showa era Godzilla fan. And luckily,
Nice.
every single one of the first 15 or so Godzilla movies has a ton of rotoscope lighting in there. So I just picked the one that to me is the goofiest and coolest at the same time.
It's one of the most definitive as well, I think, in terms of what is iconic about like that era of Godzilla movies. Because
Yeah.
you got Godzilla,
Mm-hmm.
you got King Ghidorah, and Godzilla teams up with one of his cronies.
Yep.
Always a kid. And then you got the aliens or the ex-aliens.
Yeah.
Beautiful, just iconic
Like character design.
design. It's got everything. It's got weird space stuff. Again, they just commit to it. They don't try and explain it too much. It's just like, here's what's happening. We're going to a moon of Jupiter, which is planet X or whatever.
Yep.
And for some reason, King Ghidorah is here just wrecking shit, causing mischief.
Yeah, they're really surprised that he's there. Which I guess King Ghidorah can travel through space, so I guess that
he's
makes
got
sense.
wings, right?
But
He
like they
can fly.
rock.
Wow, I can't wait to see this movie, guys.
Oh, it's so good.
But then, yeah, they're like, well, you know,
They just roll with it.
they just roll with it. They're like, we need to borrow Godzilla off you to fight this monster.
Funniest
can
conceit
we
of
have
a movie
Godzilla, please?
is can we borrow your Godzilla?
We will give you the cure for cancer if you give us Godzilla.
It's so
It works because it's just like you buy into it and it works.
Yeah.
And lots of beautiful rotoscope lightning courtesy of King Ghidorah.
and lots of like a weird funky jazz soundtrack, which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
hallmark of all
Ooh.
those as well. Like it's so good.
So you got sci-fi as like a subcategory. Were there any others?
That's on the first weekend.
Yeah.
Also with mullets.
Yeah, what do we call that one? Mullets and martial arts?
Mullets and martial arts.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good subcategory.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think I came up with that one.
Yeah, good one.
Oh, thank you. So Big Trouble in Little China obviously is obviously a shoe-in because the beautiful mullet on Kurt Russell there, extremely strange themes, and then a beautiful, absolutely bonkers film, The Last Dragon, which is like a weird combination of a late blaxploitation movie and a martial arts movie, where, and this is the case of a few of the movies in the lineup, there is about 30 seconds of, no, I'm going to say less. There's about 15 seconds of rotoscope lighting in it, and it happens in the very final scene of the movie. But I was like, no, that's enough. That meets our criteria.
So this is a common theme for the films. Like obviously, rotoscope lightning can't be like the
We
greatest.
did try to find 10 movies that were non-stop rotoscope lightning,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it turns out they don't exist.
There's
None of
not
those are
many
too
out there.
expensive. They
Yeah.
can't afford that. So yeah, The Last Dragon, it's only in the final scene, and it looks great. It's done very well, but it's very short lived. In Hellraiser, there are like some tiny crackles on the cube early in the movie, and then the final scene, some really really great rotoscope lighting.
Both Addams Family movies only have it in the finale.
Yeah, Dune only has it when the worms are doing worm sign. So when the worms
This
are
is a
visible,
tenuous link.
It's so tenuous. But also, we've been planning on screening Dune since the very, very start of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic.
June is the other opening weekend thing. This is our big launch party.
That's
This
the
is our
launch
opening
night
gala.
Is
Yes.
June, the David Lynch.
Top hats and tail, please.
So,
Yes.
yes.
Well, I said cocktail dress in the event description, so top hat and tail might be a little...
What about, what are the suits? Still suit?
Still suits?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
or
suits.
your best worm outfit will also get a prize.
Yes.
This is not something that we realized, but when we had first decided to do Dune as a movie, which was at the very start of 2020.
I'm pretty sure it was pre the movie June coming out.
It was. We were dedelightly surprised by the coincidence, but we were trying to think of like the things we could add to an event to do June Fest, a celebration of 1984's June. And like, well, we sorted out having someone to do a musical tribute to the score. We were going to get a talk done by someone who had written a book about that movie, and your Ben's insistence that we have worm dance, which was a
Excuse me?
non-specific idea of having worm dance as part of the event.
This is really embarrassing that you're bringing this up right now because I thought we were still doing this. I thought that was unspoken.
We have not lined up our worm dances, unfortunately.
I'm not coming in Top Hat and Tails. I'm coming as Worm Dance.
All right, if you can do the worm dance, that will be fine.
It goes forward, left, a little bit of a slide around the thing.
I really hope that you managed to accidentally hoodwink and trick some people who think they're like, oh, great, the Denis Villeneuve Dune is screening, and I missed the initial run.
Little
What a
encore
perfect time
screening
to go.
like 6 months later.
Yeah, and then they show up and there's just worm dance and tops and tails.
Please, at the start of the screening, you do a big speech, and then we say, and a few minutes silence while I sit there in silence doing the worm dance.
Just the sound of shuffling feet in a completely
But
silent
also
room.
like maybe
do the worm.
flopping on the floor.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and you think you could contribute worm dance to the opening night,
There is room for 3 more people in the worm dance suit.
Yeah.
It's a
Filled none of those
several-person
spots
suit.
yet.
I would love to know so much what you're picturing, but I also am just so happy to leave it to my imagination.
So potential worm dancers, hop on the socials, DM.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
This
Don't worry,
is
it's
the
not just you.
Rorschach test of
Interesting.
the...
There's as
We'll get
many
it
people
moving.
in this room as there is space in the worm dance suit.
Sorry, I'm busy that day.
I take June pretty seriously. I don't know about you lot.
I take June so fucking seriously, and you know that. I take June more seriously than you could believe.
Well, you got a film festival, you got a David Lynch movie. I haven't actually seen that one, so that's one I'm.
Are you serious?
It's actually pretty
Hey,
sick.
Yeah,
I thought you were about to say it's
everything
bad.
I've seen about it looks like a nightmarish fever dream.
It rules.
And I've been waiting for the opportunity to see it on a big screen. And would you believe it? Worm dance.
The opportunity has presented
I
itself
think if you've
in more
seen the
ways
new
than one.
June and you liked it, it's actually a really beautiful counterpoint to watch.
It is.
It's a good complimentary
It's
movie.
the chaos
to
mode
June.
of that movie.
It's a weirdly, it's restrained in the sense that like it's not a good David Lynch movie, I think is a way to describe it. But if you gave David Lynch the opportunity to make Star Wars, and then you had someone on staff whose job it was to slap David Lynch's hand if you made Star Wars too weird.
That was on the cards for a bit there.
Yeah, it was, which is
Imagine.
bonkers.
They wouldn't have let him be David Lynch. But
No.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi, directed by David Lynch, sounds like something you dreamed.
Which is kind of what you get with Dune, though. Like,
Okay.
it's he had a very strong influence on its production design, which is outstanding. Like, you cannot fault it. It's a really unique universe that they present that kind of matches the tone of the books really well. And
they added Sting to it.
And then they
Yes.
added Sting.
The most important part.
The Denis Villeneuve thing looks like it draws some cues from the David Lynch one, but they all, like, Denis Villeneuve had never seen it and
Well, it looms-
refused to watch it.
It looms large, right?
I think that they both drew on the same cues from the text, and then I don't know. It created something very strange and unique, and like the pacing of it is actively bad, and it feels weird and disconcerting. But it's
Just ignore
It's
that
cool.
part. Come along to the premiere screening.
yeah, definitely still worth.
July
I
29th.
think the
yeah.
editing and pacing is actually great, right? It's good, right? It's competent.
How good we think a movie is completely irrelevant to the reasoning for showing these movies.
I mean we've chosen them all based on watchability, which you know is a sort of an absolute value. Like a very, very bad movie is very, very watchable in the same way that a very, very good movie is. You don't want a middling movie. We have no middling movies in the lineup.
I think it's one thing that really stands out about the lineup for the festival is that all of the movies are movies that you like your layman may not have actually watched before, so you're more likely to go see. Like I know I'm really excited to see Howard the Duck. I've never seen it before. Like
That's
I'm
an experience.
yeah, I'm really excited to see Hellraiser on the big screen.
All right. Well, so the first weekend, finishing off June, we are also joined by the wonderful Steady As She Goes. Our
Tal.
pal
Shout out to
Tal
Tal.
Wells,
Our pal Tal.
We love you, pal.
who will be performing a tribute to the score
I'm so
before the
fucking
film, which will be
excited for that.
absolutely
Am I remembering right that the score is American rock band Toto?
Yes, that's
Correct.
right. With 1 or 2 songs from Brian May as well.
Oh, really?
But
He
yeah,
was on it.
Wow.
predominantly Toto.
Must have been very cheap back in that time.
Also, he's just like a fucking massive sci-fi nut. Like,
true.
I think he would have just been like, yes, before that even mentioned
You know what I
price.
think of when I think of space opera? Brian
Brian
May.
May.
Yeah.
And then the second week, we are kicking off the weekend with a double feature of the Barry Sonnenfeld Addams Family movies,
Excellent.
which
Fabulous.
I personally feel are some of the coolest movies made around that time.
I mean, I think you can just look at like how many Wednesday Addams dresses Dangerfield has sold in the last 10 years as like evidence of how successful they were about worming into people's brains.
Mhm. And if Pinterest has anything to say about it too, the number of screenshots from these films, like I feel like
my
I've
God.
seen this movie like in its entirety in GIF form.
They struck
Just a
a
little nod
tone
to
in those
Worm.
two movies that is unbelievable. Like if they made the Addams Family movies now, they just wouldn't be the same thing in terms of like it would be a little bit more obvious in terms of like
Yeah.
the gothicness of it or the danger, that Dangerfield sort of energy. What's the hot topic sort of stuff?
Yeah,
Sort of like rockabilly,
Thank
sort
you
of
for making that an international reference.
Great.
I mean, yeah, more goth.
more goth, yeah.
But
yeah.
there's this restrained energy to whatever they did with those two movies that, deeply sexual.
Super horny.
Yeah,
Inspired
so many.
casting. Angelica Houston as Morticia.
Holy
Raul
fuck.
Julia. It's like you said, if they made it today. I remember when they announced that Oscar Isaac was going to be Gomez.
Yeah.
And
Jesus
everyone's like
Christ.
losing their minds, like, what beautiful casting. And then it's like in an animated movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
He would have been goddamn perfect.
He would have been wonderful. He would have actually genuinely have been
Jesus
perfect.
Christ.
maybe someday.
Incredibly cool as well, like that movie coming out, like, in the antithesis to Married with Children.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I love my wife. I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
Yeah. And it's weird because it was in such a cultural moment of obviously the nuclear family is the standard, but the standard was also just misery.
Yeah.
And then to have this like couple where they have a goofy shtick, which is we think bad things are good, but we're so fucking into each other and into our children.
So publicly horny all the time. The Addams Family were brave enough to say happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
The only ones to do it.
The only miserable person in the whole family being Gomez, who seems to have some semblance of like clinical depression in the
Yeah.
movie as opposed to any sort of environmental
Which
thing
they think
happening
is
there.
good, I think,
Yes.
according to their rules. Everything in the DSM-5 sounds like a
But he's always
recommendation
there
to
to,
them.
It's wonderful. They're wholesome movies.
and they look out for their family and they love their family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think I'm going
that's
to go
their
to
well
every
to
single
them.
one of these movies now that I'm going through it. So after the Addams Family, what else have you
We
got?
have weird, fucked up family films.
You're doing this all from memory, which is astonishing to me because I couldn't do this.
It's not that many movies. Howard the Duck and Super Mario Bros.
yeah.
Oh.
In that order?
I think so. No, it is.
Good.
It is in that order.
Testing him now.
Howard the
cocky
Duck
about
being
it.
a movie for nasty little freaks.
Oh my God, the
and
nastiest
Super
little
Mario
freaks.
Bros. being
Also
exactly
for
what
nasty
it is.
little freaks, but in
Yeah.
a different way.
I think Howard the Duck is, again, eminently watchable. This is what I want to couch before everything else I say about it. Deeply unpleasant film. Like, just the... Conceptually, he is a duck from outer space, an anthropomorphic duck from outer space who has come to Earth through some sort of time-space hijinks. But he is unbelievably horny for human women, one human woman in particular. And they really just make that like the undercurrent of the entire movie.
This is also a Marvel movie.
Yeah, one of the
technically.
first live action, mainstream Hollywood.
adaptations,
Yeah.
directed by a little known director by the name of George Lucas.
Yeah, Jorge Lucas, I believe.
So you've got
That's right.
David Lynch and George Lucas. This is a very esteemed film festival.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, early batshit bizarre movie to adapt into, like property to adapt into a movie.
all
A
of the
horny
characters.
talking cartoon duck
And
Yeah,
one
from
that like
space.
it wasn't like this was Howard the Duck was one where kids were like, holy fuck,
like-
I love Howard the Duck. He's my hero. He was like
Beloved
a
license.
he was a weird, nasty little satirical sort of joke character, like that no one had that much love for. It was such
That's
an
his
odd
charm.
choice. But then it also pairs quite well with Super Mario Brothers because that is, I think, the first live action adaptation of a video game as a feature film. The first, the very
Wow.
first video game movie was the animated Super Mario movie, the Japanese one.
Yeah.
But the live action one, I'm pretty sure, was the first.
So paving the way for such other video game adaptation greats as Oh shit! I was gonna say Battleship, but that's a board game.
Blood Rain.
Dude.
Far
Blood
Cry.
Rain. Yeah, Blood Rain.
Sorry, I only know the
Blood Rain.
Resident
Rainbow
Evil.
one.
That's We'll just pretend I said Blood Rain. That's the one.
Trying to follow the decision making process of what's great about Mario Brothers and how can we translate that to the big screen?
Yeah.
It's an impossible
And
venture.
the only
Yeah.
thing that you keep from the game is plumbers and no other element whatsoever.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but is there a lot of like turtle killing?
They do not jump on a lot of turtles.
No, but they give them those jumpy boots.
Sam,
Not
you
once.
get everything you know about Super
Yeah,
Mario.
and also, this is kind of a grim and gritty take on Mario.
Yeah, this isn't your dad's Super Mario.
Yeah, this
And-
isn't your grand
No, it's Blade Runner.
This ain't no game.
Not just grim and gritty in aesthetic and tone, but also thoroughly miserable for everyone involved in
Yeah.
the making of the movie.
Yeah.
Who plays Bowser again? It's
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper
Dennis
right
Hopper.
off the back of Blue Velvet,
Who,
right?
who said that he just did it because his kids liked the game.
And his kids needed new shoes.
Yeah.
Which also is why Raul Julia did
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, is because he's like, oh, my kids liked it. And then it
And
ended up
he
being
was-
the last movie he did before he passed away.
Yeah, he was very ill during Street Fighter.
He's very
wasn't he?
sick and he looked it.
Apparently, Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo hated working on it so much that they were just
They were drunk
all
for the whole movie. That's
Oh,
right.
that's
And
great.
So
they, to the
there's
point
a
that
good reason to come and see this movie.
they had a minor, I believe, a drink driving accident on the set of, like, obviously they weren't out on the road, but one of them was drunk and driving one of the cars and ended up
I didn't
injuring
know
one of the
that.
other ones. But yeah, they did not enjoy being
Made this
there.
less fun now.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't have called
Hang
it
on.
drunk driving. I should say
Someone
it was
threw
alcohol.
a blue shell at their car.
silliness.
Mario Kart for drunk driving.
Yeah.
I think someone's finger got broken in that incident, is my recollection. But this is
There's
based
some
on
crazy
me
behind the scenes
from when
stuff
I
with it.
presented this movie at Netherworld like 4 years ago. So I might not have retained all of that information correctly.
It's one of those ones where like the directors pretty much haven't directed another movie before or after.
Husband, wife,
Husband
duo?
and wife trio. Yep.
That's
I
what
was
you
about
want.
to say husband and wife trio. That doesn't make any sense.
Hey,
not-
that can happen. Two
Can
husbands,
happen.
one wife.
Absolutely. They released a supercut that sort of leaked online recently.
Oh
Super
no!
Mario
So like the
Bros.
longer version of it.
Yeah,
That's
it's another
right,
half
yes.
an hour
The
of Mario
director's
Brothers
cut.
action. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo dies in a car
Well,
accident.
the pre-studio
Gets his
involvement.
finger hurt.
It's all the shots of people jumping out of the way of giant bullets with faces or something. And then to finish this off, we have our horny horror night.
That's right. Yeah.
The horniest of
Ooh.
horror. Space horror. No, one of them's space horror. Life Force and Hellraiser.
yes.
So Life Force, wonderful Toby
incredible.
Hooper. Very horny movie.
Yeah.
A horny Hooper movie.
Yeah, just an extremely beautiful nude woman walking around nude for I think the entire movie.
Real
Is my
species
recollection.
energy.
She's a vampire from space.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, because
A
there
space
were
vampire.
there were vampires lying dormant in a spaceship that was behind Halley's Comet.
Incredible.
Which I don't know what it is, but for me, abandoned spaceship is just catnip for my brain.
Oh,
just
yeah.
as a
Yeah.
concept, I'm like, fuck yes.
And then
Whatever's
Yes.
in there, I'm happy.
You give that to Canon Films
Yep.
and Toby Hooper and film it in England, I assume. There's a lot of English actors in this movie.
Yeah. You got a Patrick
And
Stewart
it's
in
got,
there?
arguably, maybe outside of Big Trouble in Little China, the coolest rotoscope lightning
Oh my
of all
god,
the
it
movies.
looks so mixed
Oh,
with
yeah.
some good practical
Yeah.
The
sort of puppets effects as well.
Desiccated vampire corpses.
They look
Yeah.
so good. This movie it's not a particularly well-known movie, despite it's got like a pretty high production value. Like they put a fair amount of money into it. And it's just, it's weird. It looks great. It's based on a novel that my recollection is the novel is just straight up called The Space Vampires.
Yeah, I looked it up the other day.
Why
You are
fuck
correct.
around?
Written by an absolute fucking crackpot called Colin Wilson, who he did two different things throughout his career as a writer. He wrote a bunch of books that were sort of adjacent to the Cthulhu mythos type stuff, so writing like H.P. Lovecraft style weird fiction. But then he
Fan
wrote
fiction.
a bunch of like quote unquote non-fiction about the paranormal. He wrote a biography of Rasputin that was predicated on the idea that magic is real. He wrote several books about reincarnation and things along those lines. He was this guy that like you read any of his fiction, like the space vampires and the other stuff he's written, and you're like, oh, this man thinks all of this is real, 100%. Ended up making just a delightful, very weird looking, very cool movie that I think makes a lot of sense to screen with Hellraiser due to the
and
horniness.
also no one would have seen this at the movies, and
No.
I think a lot of
haven't seen
people
it.
wouldn't have even seen it. So
No.
this would be a good introduction to that movie for a lot of people, and I hope a lot of people come to sort of see it as sort of like a little bonus to maybe revisit Hellraiser or to see Hellraiser for the first time.
Hellraiser is just such a fucking good movie. The first two Hellraiser movies, which as far as I know are two of the only three Hellraiser movies that were made.
Absolutely.
1, 2,
Well,
and 4.
I mean, the first Hellraiser, you know, much like the first Rambo, the most franchise idea that ever came out, somehow inexplicably both ended up with many, many, many sequels. They didn't probably need them.
Hellraiser has like got to have the sharpest drop off in terms of
Quality straight away.
maybe. I haven't seen.
Nah,
many of the
Inferno was great.
other- Hellraiser, fantastic. Every time I see it, it just gets bumped up again. Like I love it more and more. It's a beautiful, gauzy sort of romance movie set in a spooky house.
I love
Yeah,
that it's a
non-
weird, small horror tale.
Yeah.
Non-secular hell movie.
It's weird because
Yeah,
like
hell is abstract. The first movie that came to my mind when you mentioned BORLFF the first
Oh,
time,
yeah.
I was like,
For a lot of
Hellraiser,
people, that's
yes.
been their response. They're
Really?
like, "Yeah, this is the rotoscope lightning kind
Yeah.
of energy encapsulated in a single
Yeah.
film."
was it that cube? That cube's always got some lightning on it.
Yeah.
it was-
But yeah, so there's some key rotoscope lighting movies that are missing from the lineup, but we encourage everybody to watch these during BORLFF,
Yeah.
between the other lightning movies.
yeah, get a taste for it.
Also, if we actively field people to try and find ones that we missed, we're just getting fodder for next year. So it really,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it saves
I
us
was
some money.
going
That's true.
to say you can leave it open ended, but I didn't want to like throw you guys under the BORLFF bus.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
complaints about any movies that didn't make it into this year's, email contact at buntavista.
Yeah. Andrew at buntavista.com, please.
Yeah,
Specifically, Andrew. Yeah,
gripes, complaints, suggestions for next year.
like you might have suggestions for more rotoscope lightning movies. Maybe you just have some general grievances with other things. Maybe
just life.
your neighbor's bins or something. Throw them all in the email.
Andrew at buntavista.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, send them through.
Well, we extremely hope that people come and join us for these afternoons. There is nothing better in the universe than having exactly 2 beers and spending an afternoon in darkness watching a movie.
Oh,
and we get to do that twice in a row on most of these days.
I
Yeah.
think that is incredible. And one of my favorite things about this is over the past couple of years, these unprecedented times, I think cinemas have had to adapt, sort of delving back and playing older movies is something that more cinemas should do. You know, there's dozens of movies out there in the world, maybe hundreds.
Dozens. We've never
Yes.
counted.
There's dozens of them.
Dozens of
Yeah.
movies, and so many of them are just ripe for being seen on a big screen.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect encapsulation
I think that's
of
right.
this. And it's like, go see some fun movies with your friends, have 2 beers, as you said. Fucking beautiful.
And everyone is
Yeah.
terrible at watching movies at home.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well, you need
Yeah.
the
Horrible.
disciplinary jail of a cinema.
Being forced to watch it in a space
because
where you
someone will-
cannot look up who that bit part was on IMDb and go down the rabbit hole of
Yeah, you
looking
can't-
up 37
Yeah.
Wikipedia
Can't take out
pages.
your phone.
Yeah.
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 Ban
And
Like,
don't-
while you're watching a
Every
movie.
5 minutes, just like tapping your boyfriend's arm, being like, "Who is that guy? Who is that guy? Look it up. Look it up."
Luckily, that's exactly what boyfriends are for,
Yeah.
is being able to look at someone and be like, yeah, that's J.K.
The,
Simmons.
the,
There
the
he
use
is.
of boyfriends is for using torrenting websites and for looking up actors' names on Letterboxd, and that's it.
I'm not a gender essentialist by any means, but I think boyfriends are there to identify Wallace Shawn when he appears on screen.
And then fun Wallace Shawn facts. Was it someone on Twitter recently that said Wallace Shawn was like the best sex they've
Oh,
ever
yeah,
had
they
in
heard
their
a
life?
story that a lady said that hands down the best sexual experience of her life was Wallace
with
Shawn.
Wallace
like,
Shawn?
no
Wow.
competition.
Yeah.
like
10 times better than anyone else.
She's like emphatic about, she's like, no competition, like
Wallace
absolutely,
Shawn.
like just this the pinnacle of like sexual desires.
He's
Wallace
also
Shawn.
he's like a massive, like very well read, like leftist, like essentially a communist who's been like very active in like union movements and stuff for his entire life. Like I love Wallace Shawn. He was
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's that guy that talks weird, and now I'm just like, there's my hero, the king of fucking Wallace Shawn.
a different kind of union movement.
Yeah. You may not like it, but this is what peak physical power looks like. This has been Wallace Shawn Hour.
Yeah, we love you, Wallace.
Yeah. So we've got the lineup for the festival down.
Yep.
I think it's probably worthwhile 30 odd minutes into this episode to actually explain what rotoscope lightning actually is.
Sure.
And I looked up beforehand, just like a little cursory, because I was like, I'm worried that I'm not using the right terminology for it. I'm like, rotoscope lightning sounds right, but is it? It is.
I do have a degree in technically animation.
Oh.
Yeah, it is on the surface probably misleading to a very small amount of people who know what the term rotoscoping is, which is usually, say, tracing frames of film of people moving, much like you see in old Disney movies.
Yeah, and the
like
Ralph Bakshi movies.
Ralph
And
Bakshi
like,
movies,
technique pioneered, I believe, by our dear friends,
Fleischer.
the Fleischer
Yeah,
brothers.
Fleischer. And it,
Yes.
and it kind of,
It's so cool. So rotoscope lightning is effectively an animation style where you've got live action film and then you're animating over the top of it. But the way that they do it's really cool. So basically they draw onto a clear cell a black line effectively, and then they film it in negative. So the black line becomes blindingly white. And that's how it becomes the lightning strike. And then afterwards they add the the telltale purple hue and glow and all that kind of stuff. But the thing that I really like about the rotoscope lightning is that it looks better than real.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like lightning is cool in still photography, but it's not something that looks good when filmed.
It's got the same energy of very specific like stop motion animation of doing the thing to your brain where you watch it on a film and you're like, shit, that rules. That fucking rules.
Yeah, it's better than life. And so, one thing that was really cool to me about when you guys announced BORLFF, fuck me.
If you just pronounce it properly, we'd really appreciate you taking this festival
Show adequate
seriously.
respect.
It
That would be
somehow
nice.
gets harder every time I say it.
there's two F's, there's BORLFF.
Yes, that BORLFF. But it was really cool to me how the response to this festival has been not just people going, oh, I recognize that niche, that's a cool thing that I also have noticed in movies, but it's had this real kind of visceral response that almost feels more like a throwback to, I just miss a time when movies looked really beautiful, pre-CGI, modern day kind of VFX, and maybe there's something to it there that, I don't know, it's dug in, made people tick a little bit.
I think we might be exploiting people's nostalgia a little bit. If you are between the age of, say, 30 and 40, a lot of this effect was sort of peaking in your formative years of watching movies, but you didn't have the language to describe it because you never heard the words rotoscope lightning before in your life. You probably heard the word lightning before, and maybe even the word rotoscope, but not next to each other. And you had never sort of thought of it as a specific phenomenon either. So I think you just, there was a lot of movies in the 80s and early 90s that was the effect du jour where they're like, oh, we got to let you know something mystical is happening. So they chuck that in there. And then you don't really file that away. And then when you think about it, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, there is a little bit of that in Gremlins too, or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I remember seeing, and then for me, when we first started doing 2-Bit Movie Club, my overarching theme of the movies that I wanted to show at Netherworld was essentially ones that had rotoscope lightning in them. It wasn't explicit, but I was like, all right, your live action Street Fighter, your live action Mortal Kombat, your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all those sorts of movies from the early 90s, late 80s, that was defined a very specific look and feel where they were kind of dark, but they had these special effects in them where, I think we're tapping into a part of people's brains where they were like, that's what I liked seeing as a child. And I haven't thought about that for a while.
It's like a visual shorthand for a certain kind of movie, a certain kind of genre. But
we've tried to convey that in the copy that we've written for everything, but I think it's kind of hard. But for me, it was just you saw that and you're like, well, the movie's trying to tell you weird shit is happening, but that weird shit is cool.
Unearthliness of some kind. Yeah.
It is cool. And that's basically sums it all up, right?
Yeah. It's cool.
It's cool.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the Forbidden Planet that you're screening is actually the first use of rotoscope lightning ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy called Joshua. Joshua
Well, you
Meter.
know him, so
He invented rotoscope lighting. So he was the visual effects supervisor for Disney in the 50s. So he did Pinocchio, Snow White, Fantasia, like all of these classics.
So a few small films there.
Lots of
Yeah.
lots
Oh, yeah.
of rotoscoping.
You know,
Like,
just a
that's
little
where it's all-
underdog company called Disney, you know.
Yeah.
And MGM approached him and they're like, we're making this fabulous sci-fi movie, but we need to like bring something a little special, a little sprinkling of seasoning over the top of it. And they lent him out to MGM and he like invented the like negative filming effect of how to do the rotoscope
And Forbidden
lighting.
Planet's very greedy as well in that it's not just the rotoscope lighting in that movie that really is groundbreaking special effects. There's plenty of stuff that happens in that movie that really stepped it up. Even though it was previously used, the digital mats that they use as backgrounds in that.
Oh my god, the matte paintings in that movie are
It's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane stuff. Works of art in there.
It sounds beautiful. I read that the creature of Ide, is it? The demon
monster, right?
Yep, the id
yeah,
monster.
yeah. They had to like edit out a bunch of the original footage of it that they like animated because it was too scary for screen
love that.
audiences. 1956. They're like, there's lightning. I don't know. It's too freaky. Someone's got to get in there and help these guys.
I think it's such a wonderful thing as well, like comparative to so many of the other science fiction movies that would have been coming out at the time of them being genuinely B movies. Not in like a denigrating way. Like they were genuinely B movies.
Yeah.
So
they would
things
be
that-
pictures. They would be the second one that was screening. Yeah.
Yeah.
The, you know, like kind of science fiction movie was like, what if there was a big ant?
Yeah.
What if there was a big
There are like 4
cockroach.
of those, and they're all amazing. All of the Big Ant movies turned out amazing for some reason.
I would love to have existed in the 50s to see what the actual in-person reaction to Forbidden Planet at the
Yeah.
time was.
Yeah.
Well, Forbidden Planet got nominated for an Oscar.
Well, it is based off Shakespeare's The Tempest. It is.
Oh.
It's
highbrow
high
stuff.
class stuff.
Yeah.
This
Oh.
is a proper film festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably not the first movie with a Dr. Morbius in it to be nominated for an Oscar.
This is now the Morbius book.
This is the segue I needed. There is a character called Dr. Morbius in Forbidden Planet. It's real.
You've been playing the long game. trying to
Morbius
creep
fever,
Morbius
baby.
in for like
The
4
moment we
months.
stepped in through the door, Ben started just
Just rubbing
counting
my
down the
hands
fucking
together.
seconds.
Morbius.
So I think it's probably about time we start talking about day bills as a concept. So I was saying to my dad the other day, I'm like trying to describe like feature presentation, describing BORLFF and like the partnership of it. And he's like, there's just like a lot of stuff you kind of need to understand before you get to the crux of why this stuff is cool. And I'm like, which is true, but like that's also very fun to me as well. So like, there's a few like layers of knowledge you got to like peel off the onion for it. And so, we're talking about rotoscope lighting. We've got the film festival. We've got this like amazing selection of films. And then we have this art show that Sam and I are curating, that we're all curating together, that is basically asking a bunch of artists to create a film poster that corresponds with one of the films in the festival. And the type of poster that we're doing for this is the Australian Daybill. Ben, could you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So the world has countless different kinds of formats for the kind of posters that are around the world, and really strangely, Australia ended up with a very particular format, which is kind of the perfect format, in my humble opinion. The reasoning for it is paper space. Basically, there was a couple of different sizes for movie posters in Australia. One was more of like a stock standard poster size. They called that a one sheet. The other kind was the Australian Daybill, and this existed in a bunch of different sizes over the years, but the predominant size for it, which was from about World War II through to about the late 80s, early 90s, was 13-inch by 30. So a nice skinny portrait. I suppose the closest thing that would be to that is like a theatre daybill. But most theatre daybills look like they're for Phantom of the Opera or Cats or something. These got the benefit of movie imagery to sort of draw upon. In Australia, really strangely, for at least probably the first 30 years of that particular size, because it was a unique format size, they couldn't really just take the digital asset. Oh, sorry, not the digital assets. They didn't have digital
Those
assets
digital
in the 40s.
assets of the hand-painted art that they did.
Take the exact sort of same artwork that they did for a lot of the overseas releases. They ended up having local artists end up creating unique content for them. And then when we got to sort of like the 70s and 80s, that practice kept up until about the 80s when they did start using the overseas assets for them, but they got to format them in a slightly different way. And personally, I just think that having sort of like a skinny portrait is a really, really, really cool visual thing.
It's a challenging shape for an artist to not only like create a composition in, but also fit all of the information of the movie, like all that kind of stuff. And you see the comparisons between the stock standard film posters of, you know, in America and that, and then compare it to the Australian daybill version. And sometimes you'll have the exact same artwork in both posters, except the Australian daybill, they've obviously painted extra little bits at the bottom and the top to try and fill out this space.
Everyone has weird feet now.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's standing in tall grass, or they'll just completely fuck off the original artwork and do some like a completely original composition.
We kind of forced them to make new cool stuff just for Australia, which was an extremely
and so they could also
move.
add a big thing at the bottom of it saying not suitable for children.
Yeah.
Which was a primary thing to put on posters at the time.
It's such an odd visual format in that, like, obviously we have two eyes generally on average. So we are used to seeing things in a wider sort of aspect, which is why generally photos are landscape, and like our eyes are meant to look at something that is a little bit wider than it is tall, and then otherwise we scan for new visual information. Having something that's tall and narrow is completely counterintuitive to how we look at things. So like you obviously need to have a very strong focal point to bring the eye into it. But then the way that we take in that information is scanning it up and down. So you can sort of stack elements into it in a way that you wouldn't. It becomes, instead of like taking in the whole of an image, you're taking in elements of an image in sequence.
It's like a collage almost. Like
There's a hierarchy there. And
Yeah.
which is pretty ideal for a movie poster where you need to convey certain information.
Like several elements at once. Well, not even at once, like several elements, instead of just being like looking at it once, being like, all right, this is my thing. You want to be like, all right, first, there's my hero image, which is the main guy. What else? Oh, there's a speedboat at the bottom. Oh, there's some bikini ladies at the top. All right, here we go.
What's all this tied to? Oh, look at that. There's the title of the movie directly under that.
Yeah.
And the idea that, you know, you'd have these artists creating these posters a lot of the time without ever having actually seen the film
Yeah.
or,
Awesome.
have any information on it.
Part of the charm is how people interpret these things, or maybe reusing whatever assets they had in a bizarre way.
What was that example you used the other day? It was like a video game artwork that was very different to the
It was Mega Man.
Mega Man.
The,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
that's
American release of Mega Man is a pretty famous painting. It's beautiful in how like ridiculous it is compared to like all the Japanese artwork for Mega Man.
Yep.
And it's just this like attempt at like photorealistic kind of like man in a Mega Man suit.
The only information the artist got
But,
was
like,
Mega Man.
They're like, all right, is this realistic man with the most like bizarre leg anatomy I've ever seen. It kind of looks like he's meant to be riding a horse. But in like a tropical, I don't know, there's like palm trees if I remember right. But just that thing of like, we have these fragments of what this is supposed to be. It's so open to interpretation.
You have your source material, which is like 8 pixels of
yeah,
face.
it's like a blue block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
With a-
black and white photo that the production company sent
Yeah.
you of like the sketches from the original thing. You're not getting like the big like kit brief from the
you're not-
production company
You're not given
with
the
like
visual Bible.
yeah.
And all this stuff. But yeah, but going back to the day bills, and it's like, you know, we're talking about with digital assets, but sometimes before that, they'll just get maybe the US or the European poster and have to just get out the old Stanley knife and cut up and rearrange to fit the taller format. And sometimes you see ones that are a bit like less care put into them. There's a lot of negative space at the top and bottom.
Again, just painting tiny little feet at the bottom of it.
I wish more of them did paint tiny little feet at the bottom.
And Ben, you are an avid collector of day bills as well. You've got quite a sizable collection of not just day bills, but all things kind of beautiful movies, pop culture, etc. Do you have like a favorite kind of hallmark of the day bills that stand out to you? You mentioned the not suitable for children kind of comment at the bottom there. That's pretty cool.
I think with the Australian day bills, it's the ones that you look at where you're like, that is weird and unusual. I think we saw a taxi driver one the other day that you just look at it and you're like, who approved that? How did that exist? It was so minimalist in its design. It looked like a child scrawled a copy of a taxi driver poster, just black on white.
Incredible design. Like, it's just fantastic.
But I think my favorite kind of it is sort of like there's a particular period from like the 50s to the 70s where they're doing them as lithographs where they have a particular look to it that for me, that's the ultimate crack.
Yeah.
But I think larger than that, the thing that I find really attractive about them is that day bills are not something you find in the wild. They're a very strange thing to come across. They would have only been sent to cinema chains and drive-in theaters and whatnot as promo material. The majority of them would have been thrown out. The only reason they exist in the universe is because someone that worked at the theater held on to them, because someone that took over a theater put them into a box somewhere and kept putting them around the place, or because they gave them to family members or whatever. Otherwise, they wouldn't exist. So there wasn't much of a reason to it. Australia doesn't have a huge flea market culture. We have obviously do garage sales, whatever, but families wouldn't be holding collections of Australian day bills in these. So it's almost immediately a collector market from the get-go. It's only have gone from a couple of sources onwards. And really strangely with Australian day bills, it's stayed a really cheap market, and especially in comparison to a lot of movie poster markets overseas. If you look through like US one sheets, they go for a lot of money, especially stuff from the 50s and 60s. Even pretty innocuous stuff goes for a decent amount of money. But for a long time now in Australia, you can go through certain movie websites who are still very diligently collecting them and buying collections from people who used to own cinema chains in the 60s and 70s. Or eBay would be the primary place. And the main cost of like an Australian day bill is probably between $20 and $60. That's the majority of them. Anything above that is actually genuinely a rarity.
Impervious to inflation, just like...
So it becomes a very collectible format, and a lot of it is just absolutely rife with stuff that even if the actual content was rubbish, even if the movie was absolute trash, in the same vein as like really, really, really awesome looking VHS horror covers, it's got that exact same appeal of just like, I just want that on my wall because it looks old and awesome.
Yeah.
And also just by virtue of the media type, like you'd have specific cinemas that were making their own day bills, like Sam was saying with the cutouts and collaging and stuff. So, one movie might have several different types of day bills, not just one universal type. So you've got this kind of really cool like uniqueness to it. And I think maybe it's possible that it hasn't, like the market hasn't driven up the prices for it, because I think a lot of people don't actually know what they are.
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
haven't recognized them as like part of kind of Australian cinematic history.
Yeah,
it's like a very niche knowledge.
It's some real deep nerd shit. Which is why it's fun that like now this is obviously our second time doing something around the Australian day bill. It's like talking to people about it.
You get the blank stares.
You sound crazy.
Well, yeah, the moment you start a conversation off with, you're like, well, paper formats come in, and you're like, oh,
it was
fuck.
folded twice and then sent up to the cinemas.
Like,
They could fit 3 to a page when printing.
Post-war penny pinching.
Yes.
But it's like, it's so cool. Like I just think about, particularly around the 50s and 60s with these, that this is a pre-Mondo culture, right? The idea now of having a distributor or something along those lines finding an artist they like and saying, we're going to pay you a ton of money to like remix the poster for this movie. That's just not how it ever worked. It was the studio goes, we have our guy that paints posters and he's painting this poster. This is the poster for the movie.
Yeah.
And then Australia comes along and says, nah, it's not going to fucking fit, will it? Because it's very tall and narrow. You got to find someone else. It's like when you do a weird dietary requirement at McDonald's or whatever, so they have to make the burger fresh. It's like you're forcing them to kind of make a unique spin on it in this way, where we got something weird and interesting from artists that were either maybe, I don't want to say not as skilled, but not as like...
Not commercial.
Yeah, not as commercial as the person who would have made it for the studio in the first place, for Universal or whoever.
Because it's a bit more just like guy whose job is to like come up with visuals for this. It's a bit more like workman-like of like, my job is to make something practical.
Yeah.
It's more of like a craft in a way.
Yeah.
So.
If I could bring it full circle for just a moment, I think there's like a really nice parallel between the idea of the rotoscope lightning and the day bills in general, where it's kind of like the hand done kind of stodgy versions of these film posters are kind of better than like the schmick.
Yeah, absolutely.
The schmick
Yeah,
version
they have
is kind of better than real. You know what I mean? Like
they have more charm. They have the human element.
and I think like with the last feature presentation as well, one of the most successful elements of that show was that if you put a film in the hands of an artist, they are going to draw up these visual elements that may not stand out to people that are just movie fans. So you're everyone that watches a movie, you kind of walk away with different things that you really loved about it. And I think putting it in the hands of an illustrator, they're going to take the stuff that you know, maybe like a different interpretation of it. So they're not going to go, oh, fuck yeah, Harrison Ford. I'm going to draw Harrison Ford and all of the actors in this movie and going to put them all on one poster because the actors are the thing that's coolest about this movie. They're going to go, the fucking rotoscope lightning was clearly the coolest part of this movie. And so they're going to take those visual elements and then splash it on the page. And that's what makes those things so unique.
Which, it's for me, it like we have a really good selection of artists that are all going to do takes on movies that I obviously really love because we chose them for this film festival. And like Sam, for you doing, you know, like I believe you're doing Invasion of Astro Monster,
Godzilla,
right?
baby.
I am, yes.
Where like that
Mr.
is
Godzilla.
one of my
Mr.
favorite
Godzilla.
movies in the lineup, and I've been a huge fan of your art for like fucking ages. Like I know that you're,
I've drawn a few Godzillas in recent time,
and there've been some good fucking Godzillas.
it's been very fun, and
but you have like a very specific lens through like your artwork lends itself to very specific things. Like I don't know what a Godzilla looks like necessarily when you focus on the slime aspect of that Godzilla, you know, whereas you have a slime focused lens and I get to see that in a day bill, which I'm very excited to see.
Maybe we'll do maybe you guys can do a sloth slime.
Fuck,
Wait,
that's not
sloth?
a bad idea.
That is fantastic.
Well, we'll
Oh,
reverse
like
engineer
a Toxic
the
Avengers version.
Fuck,
Like
slime is a rich vein.
we
How
did
do you go?
think about maybe December
we were
being
All right,
toxic.
part 2,
Yeah.
slime. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, fuck, we'll come up with a good word
Anyway,
that makes sense for.
in terms of approaching these movies, like you were saying before, like when a movie poster was mandated by the studio, it's usually like, hey, we have Harrison Ford. He needs to be the poster because people just need to go, that's Harrison Ford. I will watch
Han
a
Solo's
Harrison
in
Ford
this.
movie.
Holy fuck. Let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
And in the hindsight of like a show like Feature Presentation where you get artists to do their take on it, they're not constrained to that. It's more like what appeals to you from this movie, what speaks to your like, I don't know, style. So you can just riff on it and take what you like, and it's not solely for the purpose of advertising the movie. It's just like, I want to do my love letter to whatever it is I like about this movie.
Yeah,
In a cool
absolutely.
format, like
Yeah, without like the kind of like branding parameters that you usually
Yeah.
put through when you're doing like commissioned
Yeah,
artwork
and
or whatever.
So with like the previous feature presentation, there were heaps of them where people are like, I just love this poster. I don't know what this movie is, but I will spend my hard-earned money on buying this poster because it looks cool.
And then I'll watch.
Part of the whole appeal of movie posters in general, it's
Yeah.
like you want to catch someone's eye and make them interested so that hopefully they will spend money to go and watch this movie. Or
Yeah, we will also cynically be using these posters as advertising material.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're not being made for that purpose. That's just
Secondary in
incidental.
nature.
Yeah.
it's just a
They're
happy
there to put on your wall.
coincidence.
To
Yeah,
look pretty.
exactly.
Yeah, we just want people to make shit that looks cool. And there's not that aspect of trying to trick people into seeing a movie. It's someone who has watched a movie and been like, well, this is what I love about it, so this is the thing I'm going to put front and center, and then you get this extra perspective on it.
I do think anyone going to BORLFF is not being tricked so much. I think it's
Although if you are being tricked, we will still take your money.
also
The original Lightning Grifters. I was very fortunate about 15 years ago to work closely with a guy who actually ran a drive-in cinema in the late 70s.
Wow.
And as a result of that, his house was absolutely just filled with all the promo material because he never threw it all out. So when I was sort of asking him, sort of like drilling him about it, I'm like, what have you got? I want to see it. He ended up just bringing in boxes of some of the shit he had lying around. He's like, I don't know what's in
my
there
God.
because it's all just like the way Daybils are. They're folded in like two folds.
Yeah.
So if you're going to keep them, you're going to keep them in a relatively small piece of real estate, and they're all going to be flat, and you won't be able to see any of them, even if you've got hundreds of them there. So I can understand if there hasn't been sort of like a huge push for the collector market for it, because it's not like VHS, which especially like post-COVID has gone absolutely bonkers on in the collector market. They've gone from something that you could maybe collect for $20 or $30 a piece to they are going for $60 to $100 a piece, which is really strange. But that's happened with a lot of collectors markets over COVID. It doesn't seem to have done that to Australian Daybills. It's still a relatively untapped collector market. But I get it in terms of they're not as readily visual to put into a house somewhere. They're not like trading cards that you keep into a folder and just flick through. They're not VHS that you put in the spine out on the wall. They're not vinyl that you can use as, like a beautiful representation of your loves in the universe. For a lot of it, unless you can fork out to pay for unique size frames, incredibly unique size frames, they are generally going to sit in a pile folded up, where they sort of need to be folded out. But I personally love pulling them out.
Well, that's the fun, the digging through, like what's in here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll find exactly what that movie is that I want. Like a while ago, coming across a stall somewhere
Supernova.
of Daybills.
Yeah. You have
for
to
the first time, just digging through.
You
It's
have
like,
to dig.
I'm going to look for like a Videodrome one.
Yeah.
Digging through and then finding it and be like, oh shit, like I manifested it. It's like, no, just the fact that there were so many there. It's like, if I have this in mind, it's probably in here somewhere. And just that first day digging through, and like there was a few of us, and just being so excited to find this, just like kind of like you were saying, just piles and piles, like not organized.
Anyone that's ever selling them, you're like, what sort of stuff have you got in there? I'm like, I don't know, man.
And the guy he was exactly like that. And after that first day of like maybe 4 or 5 of us sort of like freaking out and digging through, he was like, oh. Go back the next day, every price is jacked up by like
he's basically
30%.
like, this guy had a stall at Supernova, like 5 of us, like, in our 20s, like black leather jackets and shit, go and be like, oh hell yeah, Daybills, this is sick. And then like, we'll come back later and buy some tomorrow. And then he's like, oh shit, the kids are here to buy it, like rent's obviously going up, so
like,
we gotta
it's like, wait, people
jack
want
up
these?
the prices.
Anyway, I didn't. I think the Videodrome one was maybe a bit out of my budget at the time, but I did walk away with very nice Australian Daybill poster for the arena with Pam Grier.
Oh yeah,
beautifully made.
There's a very particular period that looks the coolest though. Like,
it's the lithotones.
It's extremely the 60s lithographs. Like,
If I was Queen of the Universe, we'd be doing lithotone onto newspaper.
But ironically,
for this, but
what was
the cheapest
the
format,
cheapest thing to do, and working within these budgetary restraints, is now expensive to do.
Just completely. If you want to spend like $250 on a brand new
Like we were
later.
initially looking into like printing them on the sort of like newsprint and stuff like that, something a bit more faithful to the what Daybills are printed on, which is just like cheap disposable paper. Turns out nowadays that's annoying and difficult and expensive to do, to find someone who wants to do it in the way you want.
There's this great on-flow effect of that in Australian Daybills as well, and that all the advertising for the movies from the 70s makes the movies look like they're from the 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's just very Australia in general, isn't it?
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything today that I wanted to chat about, the like details of the festival and Rotoscope Lightning. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add or plug before we
If you live in Brisbane, we cannot urge you enough to keep up to date with Netherworld events page and maybe Scratch Bar events page as well, just to keep in the know of what 2-Bit Movie Club events are coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a Facebook group you can join. It's 2-Bit Movie Club. And that we just post everything that we're doing in there, because as we were saying before, it's very hard to actually reach people on any sort of social media at the moment.
If you want to see what's going on with this festival, check out www.BORLFF.com. How do you spell that, Ben?
That is BORLFF.com, BORLFF.com.
And how is it pronounced? Just one more time.
Also,
we actually had some early chats about this where we had to arrive at a consensus around it. Yeah, BORLFF.
The lovely Luke Shield has done some enamel pins that you can get as being part of a few of the screenings. You can get a season pass for cheaper than it would be for individual passes.
Yeah.
You can get double feature passes for cheaper than it would be to get the individual movies by themselves.
Yeah.
And
And like, if you're already out of the house, you may as well see 2 fucking movies.
You might as well.
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Go home?
What's the difference between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. than 8 p.m. and 10 p.m.? You're not doing anything special between 6 and 8 p.m.
No.
Go see a movie.
You're going to go home and you're going to look at the front page of Netflix and you're like, I don't want to watch any of this
Exactly.
shit. And then you're going to go home early after spending an hour of scrolling through Instagram.
Yeah.
Just
It
watch
is a
2
license.
movies.
You can have your beer in the movie.
that's true. You
Yeah.
can drink at the cinema. It is licensed.
Yep.
When is the launch? When's the screening of Dune with Steady as She Goes?
It is on Friday, the
29th.
9th of
29th
July.
of July.
That's right.
Friday, the 29th of July.
Yeah.
BORLFF kicks off.
Yeah.
And then every
Yep.
following
It's
weekend?
It's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are going to
Yep.
give you exactly 4 days rest.
And then-
Amazing. And then we hit you
be
again.
back
Again
Oh.
for 3 days.
Why are you doing this like it's a monster truck
Yeah.
show?
Friday.
Can
Lightning.
we get some monster trucks?
Yeah, I'll
yes.
see what I can do. Actually, we fucking...
Can we get Gravedigger on the blower and see what they're
I'm
up
sorry.
to?
Everyone wants monster trucks, but no one wants a June dance.
Brisbane Monster Truck Show is
I
on
was a big
right
advocate
now.
for Worm Dance.
Archerfield Speedway, yeah.
This
I know.
weekend.
Really?
As we're recording this, it's
Great.
happening.
That means I'm hearing it while I sleep tonight. Lastly, if you want to see the only Brisbane slime movie film festival,
Yeah.
you must come to the Lightning one version
Yeah.
of it.
Is that BORLFF?
Slop.
Slorp?
We could make it harder to say, Ben.
We could.
Every year.
How about we get
increasingly
rid
difficult.
of every vowel out of it?
These are perfect ideas.
The Slime Film Festival located in Brisbane. Flurb.
So it's just like
Flurb.
slub.
Flurb.
Nothing but consonants, just the
Yeah.
whole way.
Yeah.
But just a B in there as
On
well.
the bright side,
Spliff.
none of these domains are going to be bought. So
No, this is
Yeah.
so good. I can't
Oh,
believe
it
we
might
got
be like
BORLFF.com.
like a Welsh local council or something.
Or just like someone's mashed a keyboard and
Yeah.
bought all these domains
my
hoping
cat bought a domain.
yeah.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for coming and chatting about the festival. I'm so excited. And Sam and I, we're going to be spending the next few weeks chatting with each of the artists
Yeah.
that we've commissioned to create their own original
we're
day
going
bills.
to talk to each of these artists about the specific movie that they're doing a poster for,
Mm-hmm.
and a bit of their like insight, a bit of their process.
Yeah, and just about,
Movies.
bloody movies, mate. What do artists like about movies? It's far often less about the movie and far often more about the VHS cover they saw when they were
Or
8 and
the
gave them nightmares for the
poster.
rest
The
of their
poster,
life.
like, yeah, it's so much of what gets you hooked into movies is just
Peeking through the peephole of the film through its
yeah,
artwork.
or just what you imagine from seeing that cover or that poster,
Yeah.
and just hoping like, what is that? What is that?
And hoping that maybe the artwork will reflect what the actual movie is. And it's a
Yeah.
50-50. You
Can't wait to
enjoy
see how the
listening
artworks.
to that? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What-
We're seeing a few roll in, and they're looking.
What would be
Hell
the
yeah.
best worm dance song to go out on if I could put a little worm song on top
Oh,
of this?
it's obviously it's Weapon of Choice by Fatboy Slim.
Oh,
I believe it is Dr. Worm.
I very embarrassingly did not know that Weapon of Choice was about June until you pointed it out to me very recently.
Yep. Yeah, I can't
I
even
have watched that
imagine-
video clip. My favorite video clip ever made.
What the fuck
So
else?
many times.
What would those words mean?
I don't know. I didn't think it was about June.
Yeah.
I didn't think
I didn't know
the
that.
video clip with Christopher Walken dancing around a hotel lobby was about June.
Walk
His
without
dance!
rhythm and you won't
Yeah.
attract the worm.
Fuck me.
Yeah, it makes
Flies
sense
through
when
the
you say
opposite.
it.
Oh my God. I'm with you, Ben. Jimin.
Thank you for the clarification.
I like that.
I'm going to say the menu music for Worms Armageddon.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah. Real creepy music for all those games. There's a real sense of
That's
It's really
despair in
intense.
them.
Yeah, it's just haunting.
I feel like
Yeah.
that composer never played the game. This is like a day bill situation.
Yeah.
He's like writing the music for a completely
It's
different
like,
game.
oh, it says Armageddon, so
Yeah.
That's sad. Yeah.
but Worms.
Yeah.
All right.
Would
We
you
need some
still love
music
me
to
if I was a
storm the
worm
beaches of
zombie?
Storm.
I'm just gonna edit this by just slowly turning down the audio.
I'm Dr. Worm. I'm interested in things. I'm not a real doctor, but I am a real worm. I am an actual worm. I live like a worm. think I'm getting